The latest episode of Married at First Sight UK, eyes are back on Julia-Ruth and Divarni. As we've seen throughout the show, it seems like Divarni loves to play happy families, loves to play that nothing wrong is going in there, loves to act like there's nothing wrong going in their relationship, juxtaposed with Ruth, who is an open book, seemingly. She tells it how it is, and she's not afraid to tell the truth about their relationship. And in the last commitment ceremony, the experts were pressing Julia-Ruth on whether she was physically attracted to Divarni. She pretty much said no, but I feel like they wanted her to just say outright, I do not fancy Divarni. I mean, she was basically saying it, oh yes, he's attractive, but he's not my physical type. That means that she's not physically attracted to him. But it's like the experts wanted to do some psychological exercise where she admits it explicitly. They are a couple who have been having a lot of conflict in their relationship, and it seems like in this retreat where they split the couples up and there's a question and people are like, who do you think is the weakest couple? It seemed like Julia-Ruth and Divarni were the unanimous target, which I think was quite interesting, simply because I'm surprised that nobody said Lee and Leah, because they're essentially in the same position, if not worse. I think if, people are saying at this point, you guys should be at a place where you're intimate. I don't know, has Lee and Leah had sex? I don't know about that. But basically, people are just focusing on the fact that at this stage, they should be at the stage where they're being intimate with each other. And the fact that they're not is a red flag. And the fact that Julia-Ruth said that she's not physically attracted to him was a red flag. And obviously we have seen Divarni, he's all about his image. He hates his ego being bruised. And this seemed to really piss him off. And when he's now in the confessional, he's alluding to the fact that they don't know the truth about their intimacy. So at this point, I'm thinking maybe they have been intimate with each other. And I guess now Divarni is pissed off because he's now looking like a sexless husband. And of course, the image of appearing to be a sexless husband is just way too much for his ego. So he's now in a very bad mood. Then we see them sit down at the end of the episode, just the two of them in their kitchen. And Julia-Ruth is asking him how his day is. And he just basically starts going off. And he's just basically like, we're always doing things on your terms and I'm not going along with it anymore. Why can't we just be truthful? Why can't we just tell the truth? I've been made to look like an idiot. And then he basically outs Julia-Ruth as a liar and basically said that we've had sex. So I don't know why you're telling people that we haven't. And Julia-Ruth is taken aback because this is something that she explicitly asked him not to discuss on camera. She told him she didn't want to discuss her sex life on camera, and he had agreed not to. But now that his ego is bruised and he feels embarrassed as this sexless husband, he's now revealed it on camera, and he's like, yeah, I'm revealing it on camera. Let's just say that we've done it and we can move past it. It doesn't have to be this big deal. But she's like, but I told you I really don't want to discuss our sex life on TV. I told you about that. And now you've just outed it on TV. And he's just basically like, I'm sick of the lies. Let's just be truthful. Let's just keep it real, yada, 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 yada. And personally, I think that they're both strange. I think this was very much an ego thing. I think Julia-Ruth was right about that. If nobody cared about their sex life, he wouldn't care. And like I said, I feel like it's the whole sexless husband image. But at the same time, I feel like, why are we keeping this a secret? To me, Julia-Ruth saying she didn't want to discuss her sex life on camera is not adding up to me, because it's not like she's some sort of prude. It's not giving what Grace is giving. And we've seen her discuss sexual things on screen. So to me, it's not making sense how she's comfortable talking about sex in general, but not her sex life. Now, Divarni does inquire with Julia-Ruth, basically saying, how have you presented our sex life to people? She's just basically saying how I've told people that we're not there yet and that we're waiting to be intimate. I'm basically trying to say she hasn't said it in a bad way. But I don't think that's entirely the truth, Julia-Ruth, because when people were talking about their sex life, she was like, oh yeah, I have a good sex life with my toys. Trying to make it seem like it was just her and her hand tonight because she wasn't getting it from Divarni. But they actually have had sex. So for me, I think that's a bit, Julia-Ruth, something ain't adding up there. Divarni, he does call her out. So he's like, you're lying to these people. You're lying to these people's face. and I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not lying anymore. And then Julia-Ruth comes out to say, well, what do you want me to tell people, that the sex is shit? Oh, not the sex is shit on. And from the way that it's looking like, it is looking like it was a one and done thing. So can you say, okay, they've been intimate, but the intimacy is clearly lacking if it's only happened once, seemingly. So let's play ball with Divarni, that he just wants to tell the truth. Him now, okay, they've been intimate, but then they've only been intimate once, and then Julia admits that she was unsatisfied, and that's why they've only been intimate once. What one sounds better for the ego? Personally, for me, I would rather somebody say that we haven't had sex than to be telling everybody that we did have sex and it was a shit lay, and therefore we've only had sex once and we haven't done it again. I just feel like, as an ego thing, I would rather the former, that you just tell people that we didn't do nothing. Something tells me that Divarni probably had a good time, so he's probably thinking, well, I got my fix. But anyway, after that whole revelation, Julia walks out the apartment and she's like, you've just completely disrespected me. And I can understand her, but I just think that this is all just a bit weird about their boundaries in their relationship. Because it seems like there's things that both of them don't want to discuss on camera. Julia-Ruth is all about, I'm going to tell the truth on camera. You want to lie about things, but yet she wants to keep secret that they've been intimate. So it just seems like there's a lot of double standards going on in this relationship. But at the same time, the fact that Divarni is so angry about this is a red flag as well, because it's like, what are you angry about? Are you angry about that you feel emasculated because all of the other men feel like they're getting their fix and you're not? Why has that bothered you to the point where you're now angry and you're now pissed off? To me, the emotional regulation is lacking there. But overall, this relationship clearly isn't working out. Julia-Ruth doesn't like that man. She's not attracted to him. They had sex. The sex was shit. She barely has anything nice to say about him. What is the point of continuing? It's just giving that they're both dragging things out for screen time, because even Divarni, he says that Julia-Ruth is perfect, but he clearly has resentment towards her as well. So the whole energy of this relationship is super weird, and I just think it's time to wrap it up now. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens next. I guess we'll see what the couples think about this quote unquote revelation. But what do you guys think about it? Do you understand why Ruth wouldn't want to now have to talk about how shit the sex was? Or do you feel like it's weird that she asked him to keep it a secret? And what do you think about the way in which Divarni has revealed it? Do you think that was a bit shady? And what do we think about his reaction as well? Like the fact that he's so angry about it, that people don't think that he's had sex with her. I got to hear from you guys.